What's up, people? We are live on at least one of our platforms. We'll be live on Twitch very shortly as well. But I am here. It's Rob Barrington for the U.S. Team Trials, here with a familiar face, I think, to most of you that get a Bridge Bulletin these days. It's Amber Lynn. Welcome, Amber. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to watch some Bridge together and maybe add a person as we go forward. But we're here to start. And we're looking at USA 1 for now. And unfortunately, right now, it's a 101 point margin for USA 1. Kaplan is just out of the blocks, just putting it to the Shuri team, which is surprising, Amber. I guess it's surprising, except for the way Kaplan's been doing this to everybody else, except for their first round. They've been quite
It's not
impressive.
surprising given their history in this tournament so far.
Yeah,
Actually,
their toughest match seemed to be their first match against Wildowski. They were like touch and go there, and then they beat Nickel, the top ranked team. They beat Wolfson. And they're really putting it to Shuri right now in the USA 1 final. What we're also going to look at is this match as well, among others in USA 2. This is two titans of teams facing off in what ends up being the quarterfinal of the USA 2, the second team that gets qualified for the Worlds. You have Fleischer against Nickel, and it's close. 12 imps separating these teams. We'll stick to USA 1 for now, see if Shuri can create a comeback. But thank you all for joining. And don't forget, you can type into the chat anything you like. And as we start looking at some of these hands and we can analyze what's going on here with this overcall with Finn here, I will start efforting some other stuff for us. So, Amber.
good. Thanks for having me, Rob. I was also looking through some of the hands that we missed, and there's some interesting swings already in the
Fantastic.
Kaplan Sherry match.
In fact,
So
I'm going to pull that up over here as well for us, just so we can get a look at their scorecard. And I
yeah,
don't want to have that one
so happy to start with this one. This one already seems pretty exciting.
for sure.
Um, and then if things we can go back to some of the other hands too.
And there we go. That's what I need there. Yeah, Kaplan has, I think, extended their lead by about 11 in this first set. And yeah, I'm looking at the scorecard now, a couple of reasonable swings early. And Kaplan is four-handed. You have three young guns and one, what was it,
Old
old
guard.
master. Eddie Wold is the I would say older master. And you have Adam Kaplan, Adam Grossack, and Finn Kolesnik, which, you expected these sorts of players to start doing well in the trials, especially the open trials, and here we are, right? This might be the year that they break through. And
Yeah, I think it's really interesting too that the team that they're playing against has, I think, 3 out of 4 players who are I want to say the last time that an four-handed amateur team won the US trials. I think it was 2013. So
it was
Gavin,
Wolpert,
uh,
Dwyer,
yeah,
and Cranon, kind
and
of,
just Cran, yeah,
and
Bathurst,
Cranon Bath. No, it was Kevin.
Harvard,
Yeah, it
one
was
of
Kevin
them.
Bathurst, Kevin Dwyer with Gavin and Cran, basically four-handed. Yeah, and they are. I think maybe they were a little older than the Kaplan team is now, except for excluding Eddie, obviously. Um, Finn is God. He's early 20s,
Finn
right?
is the youngest. Yes. I don't think Finn is quite 21 yet. So
Jeez, amazing. He's already won a big team event, and obviously a person that's near and dear to your heart, Kevin Rosenberg, is a hard charger as well. He's been having an exceptional run of results in excellent events. So. Bridge is alive and well in the young side of the game, including yourself, Amber. Sorry, don't mean to exclude present company here. So what's going on here? They're already at what, 5 clubs at this point, doubled. It went a no trump by Gavin.
yeah.
Some sort of 2 clubs was alerted at, okay, majors. So he showed majors with
Two
5-4.
clubs with both majors.
2 spades was just kind of looks like systems on range asker clubs. 3 hearts, 4 hearts, 5 clubs, kind of posterizing, okay, I have this hand. And interesting, the club suit is not amazing for Shuri here.
Yeah.
Unlucky too with right hand opponent showing the majors. You're not expecting a 4-1 from that side for sure. Although it's a little better than a 4-1 on
Um,
the other.
but was it a good save actually against four hearts? Um,
Ooh, good question. Hearts is looking pretty decent. Heart,
yeah,
spade, no
I think
diamonds.
so.
Finn and Kaplan. I think everybody's a relatively new partnership in this team also. So it's very impressive the way they've just kind of hit the ground running in this event.
Yeah. I think Finn and Kaplan have been playing on and off throughout the past few years. We played with them at the Australia Gold Coast
Ah, very
um,
nice. You
few
got to go to
years
that.
ago. So I think they've had some experience playing together, but not, in such big events until I think very recently. I think they played the last nationals together.
The other table is a board behind this table, so I think we're in a good spot. The other table is on board 8.
Yep. So that one, so on that lead, let's see if he puts up. Well, he's probably going to pick up the club at some point.
You're looking at the other table there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Let's.
Oh, you have one view on. Uh,
Yeah, I just have the one with Sharon, but yeah, we can report stuff from the other table. We'll jump over there at some point as well. Maybe
all
when,
good. Yeah.
honestly,
Mhm.
Amber, let's wait till they hit board 9 at the other table and let's hop over to that and see what they do with that board. That's
Yes.
interesting. So we'll keep track of that. Again, it's funny that the more exciting action is in USA 2, really, at this point. We're going to stick with this match for a bit, see if Shuri can kind of scrape together some imps and make it a game. But we may be watching a lot more USA 2 stuff today than USA 1 because Fleischer and Nickel are in a tight match. Goodman and Rosenthal also in a tight match in that crew. And the only match that seems to be a little bit out of hand is the Wolfson Bailey match, but still within reach. Lots of bridge left. We're on board 9 of 60 today. Goodness.
So it looks like this is going to be just down one.
And we'll see what the other side of this can be. So you're in Schaumburg now, right, Amber? And you're there
Yes.
for the long
Mhm.
haul from this point. Yeah, it's just kind of a quiet, not as much energy as a real bridge tournament, I suppose, but more contained and expert level for sure.
Yes, it is definitely quieter than an NIBC. And we're kind of in the middle of the suburbs in Chicago, so not a
It's
big city
not very
either.
exciting to go walking around for sure.
Yeah.
It's good that way though, because this is a hyper focused event, right? Pretty much everybody is playing bridge, getting their rest, and coming and doing it again because there's just nowhere to rest. And you
Yeah.
really don't want a lot of distraction anyway.
It's a long tournament. All the matches are very long, 2-day matches. It's really unique for the viewers is that it's one of the only, I mean, have you talked about this before? Like the format of the event?
We talked a little bit about it, but I'd like to hear your perspective on it for sure.
Yeah, I think the USBF really prides itself on hosting some of the most innovative tournaments in the world right now. So it's the USBF, I think, is the only organization that hosts their serious tournaments on completely through the Love Bridge platform. So both the bidding and the card play. The World Championships right now only use Love Bridge for the bidding
Yeah.
and not for the card play. And they also have every Screammate pair in a separate room, which I've heard can also have benefits in other ways.
People love that, Amber. It's amazing. That's the one thing that was surprised me so much with this is they love that kind of partner, two players in a room. They get to relax, they get to know each other a little bit better. I thought that was a fascinating aspect of it. So yeah, and
Yeah,
as it works, Gavin and Finn are in one room with tablets alone, and then Raj and Kaplan are in another room, and it's completely secure. It's on. I can't say anything's unbreakable cheating wise, but it seems like it would be pretty
yeah.
difficult to get any sort of read in this, which is great. That's what we want.
Well, I think some of the funny stories that I've been hearing in this format is, for example, you might feel very comfortable talking out loud in front of your single opponent, especially when one of you is dummy.
And,
Um,
and that's why we
Even
see
too
so many
comfortable.
quick claims too that we might not understand. It's
Yeah.
those guys
Mhm.
just talking to each other. Hey, you have that Queen of Clubs or Clubs 3-3, something like that. You know.
I
Let
think sometimes even people have gotten too talkative and perhaps even given away some things from their hand because they got so comfortable.
Also a real possibility, right? For sure. Let me try
Yeah, I
to.
missed a chat message. What the hell?
Oh, that's
Oh
from
yeah,
me.
switch
Sorry.
over to the other room.
I should be in the.
Yeah, it looks like they're starting
Oh,
off.
perfect. Let's
This
get
skin
there.
also looks really exciting though.
Yeah, this one's pretty interesting too.
Um,
We'll sweat this action at both tables, but here's that auction we saw earlier, and we have the same start. No trump by Grossack, natural, two clubs showing majors. We presume. We would guess that systems would be on for most partnerships here. And we'll see what they end
well,
up
I think
with.
over two clubs majors, a lot of people might play something more like
Unusual
usual
over
versus
unusual.
unusual. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think this is a big place where it's really important from like an ethics perspective to always ask what two clubs means if you do play two different systems.
Very good
Because
choice.
yeah, if you do pass and don't ask, it is giving away some information to your partner. So hopefully Eddie knows what they play over two years.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's true. When they do show both majors, you don't necessarily need all your systems. However, the system that Shuri used was more of the range ask, so it's possible, they keep that as standard and use something else. At least for the pair we watched originally with this decision.
Yeah. And I could see argument of people wanting to keep some of their major bids on, like but maybe more so if your opponents are favorable, they might have for little in a major.
Yeah, and you may have like a reasonable natural bid even with them having that position possibly. Let me get out
Yeah.
of there.
And I guess we won't even know if they were really on the same page because Gavin just had no space to bid after three minutes.
That's right.
Okay, so double was not alerted. So it seems like they're playing a different system over two clubs.
Yeah. Four hearts seems pretty automatic when partner shows majors there. Even at those colors, as you see, Kevin has a very shapely hand, and he's putting a ton of pressure on the opponents now. And there's your five club bid. Question is that where it ends? Does Shan wanna do anything funky here? It doesn't seem likely, right? With King Jack 10 fourth, other than double.
Yeah. And even not doubling wouldn't be too costly. So,
Right.
oh, I think Olivia's at link.
Ooh, perfect. Oh, let me tell her I'll send her an email right now.
Oh, we might need to share it. Oh, can we stop this? We're on air.
We can have a very Olivia's right there. I don't even have to send a link. Perfect. Amazing.
2-1. Two for.
Well, now we can really say Young Bridge is alive and well. This is amazing. Welcome, ladies. You played in this event as well. Or sorry, Chamber, you didn't play in the event, but Olivia, you
Olivia
did,
did,
right?
yes.
Yeah, you
Olivia
played.
had one of the most exciting beginnings.
Well, someone told me about a hand. In fact, I think Michael Berkowitz told me you were super brilliant on a hand, and I didn't have a chance to actually look at it yet. But rumors of
Yeah.
your exploits are very big here. So it looks like they get to the same position here, Amber. Five clubs doubled.
Yes, looks like a five clubs doubled push. Well, do you want to talk about any of the previous hands? I was thinking that board three, there was a swing. Let's see. I actually missed that one. But I think board
Tell
the
you
one
what,
where they both went down in 1-0, board five. Or both went down in 3-0.
in 3-0, you mean?
Both went down in 3-0, yes. Board five. Have you looked at any of them yet?
Yeah, let me look at the score and I'll pull it up over here for you. In fact, let me get it on a regular table here, and we'll take a look at that. So it was board.
I think five, both of them, both tables actually had a chance to make 3-0 trump for a potential swing, but then both tables went down.
So let's look at it. Here it is. So board 5. Here's the Shuri Wolpert versus Kaplan Kolesnik table. It was a club by North, which is 2+ at 4-4-3-2. Okay, 2 clubs, natural. Pass, double. Again, this is the beauty of the tablet play. You get to see exactly what the players are telling each other. So Wolpert's like, hey, we didn't discuss this, but assuming it's takeout, 2 diamonds, 2 no, 3 no. And we saw the 5 of clubs lead. Interesting. Not the queen, the 5.
Yeah, so I think this was an interesting. My guess is that since North could have had natural clubs, but also, they did double this. They did make a undiscussed double of 2 clubs.
Right.
Oftentimes when you lead your opponent's suit, you want to lead the 4th best because that might be giving away a trick in the suit.
I mean,
Leading
I'm
the
sorry.
card
I mean,
cards.
no disrespect to the players, but this is just so funny because this makes me think of all the times I made one of these kind of risky 4th best plays, and
And
it comes
Declare
down
puts the
and
9 in.
I see 9/3, and I'm just thinking, please God, just play small, just this one time.
And the
Like,
prayers are answered here. Gavin kind of misses an opportunity.
as Declare, like no one thinks, oh, this guy's underled, please back
Exactly.
up. Like it's such a relatable thing from both perspectives as
It's-
Declare a defender for something like this to happen.
It's not quite Grosvenor level, right?
Oh,
Because
no.
it's a choice, but it is interesting. They're both smacking themselves in the head, but Finn breathes a huge sigh of relief here when he sees it
Yeah.
go 7 and then 6, right? So it looked like
And then I know the exact feeling Finn has when, he's just praying, oh my God, partner, please play the 8. But his partner just has to scare him by playing the 7.
so here the Kaplan wins and then fires a club, and now it looks like they're just gonna smack down some diamonds. It goes ace of diamonds. They clear clubs.
Yep, and Declare can't set up their spade without giving up those clubs.
Yep.
So
Want to see what happened at the other table? Amber, you want to jump in at all here with let's see what they chose here. 6 of hearts. Interesting. So
yeah, so this table they had a 3 heart spade, which directed the lead.
Yep.
And then Declare had, a thought process where they had to do the same thing of knocking out the diamonds, but they had to think about, are they more worried about the heart continuation, or in this case, they had to actually be worried about a club shift. So if Declare could see that East had, again, maybe this was figure outable, but it was tough to figure out, I think, because you have to see the danger of the club shift.
Yeah, it looks like the problem that that they get on this board is how many entries does West have with this 3 heart bid.
Interesting. Yeah.
You know that East has let a doubleton. So, you can duck one, hope they play another, and then East's not able to play a heart, or you could win the first heart and hope that
East only has 1 entry potentially,
Right.
and West entry, and you can try to find East's entry first. So if you can knock out East's ace first, they play a heart, and now sorry, you don't want to knock out East's ace first, because
Yeah.
if they do, I meant it flipped, yeah. So if you
Yeah,
do find East's ace first, they can play a heart. West will win their ace and clear the hearts. You want to find West's ace first. So I think this is a common theme that shows up a lot in 3-No Trump, where you want to be able to find that entry. But when you duck one, now you should be safer either way. But then you're at risk of this club shift.
And they found it. Dwyer
Yeah.
Rimstead finds it right away because he knows after he wins the King of Hearts that there's just no future, right? He's just okay.
not looking at any of the
I can't
aces.
believe I took this trick, right? So he's just let's find where partner is, and clubs looks like clearly the spot
Yeah.
here.
Against the worst pair, you would also have the consideration of maybe they're just so excited looking at their 6 card suit that they're playing another one on the table. But
Very good.
unfortunately
Yeah.
for Declare here, this is.
But if clubs had just been like 4-3
Sorry.
or
Yeah.
the other way, like he would have been fine.
Sure.
So
Sure.
But then these 2. If they can set up 2 club tricks, 2 aces, and
ducking the
ducking the heart, he would actually still not
he
have
would
enough
still
tricks
not have
there.
enough tricks.
But
That's a good point.
it just might be very hard with an ace to find this club shift.
All right, let's jump back to the live action. Looks like we have a slight. It's only 100 now for Kaplan. It's 199 to 99. Really, as you've seen, Olivia, as I'm sure you've been there the whole time, Kaplan has essentially had not too much trouble other than their first match. Their first match was the match that was just super tight until the end. Yeah. It was the only super tight match of the event so far, really. Although they did have a little nickel kind of came back at them a little bit in the penultimate set, and then they closed the door hard on nickel, and they just took Wolfson apart. So, and they're taking a really good Shuri team apart as well. It's just playing great.
I mean, these are two really great teams, so it's exciting to see to get to see 120 boards of
Yes,
these
and
two
two
teams
of
play
the
each other.
youngest teams too in the event.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. If we evict Eddie, my goodness, I got.
Yeah. Who's that good?
So my question is, who do they add? Do you think it's all going to come down to who USA 2 is and maybe what the mix situation is?
Yeah.
But I mean, they're going to probably have a pick of a good pair or two to see who they want to bring, because they're certainly not going to go to the World Championships four-handed. In fact, I don't. Is that even allowed for us? Do we?
I think it's allowed, but I'm not sure.
It wouldn't be advisable.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone as a USBF board member of not very long. I haven't seen anyone to request that. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of the international teams have been four-handed, and I don't envy their. I mean, it's great for them, especially if they just want to face off against the best teams. So that's a lot of bridge. That's even.
yeah, it's a really long event.
Yeah.
And there we go. They're chopping action on this board. It looks like 100 each. And we saw a interesting hand coming next here, so we might as well sweat this action. And then I'm keeping track of the USA 2 stuff as well. So let me, at some point, we can switch over to maybe some more excitement. Looks like.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the Kaplan team, definitely what you don't want to see right now is excitement.
Yes.
You don't want to see this four spades opening bid by Champagne.
Yeah, you want the deadest sets of all time, right? You just want easy, non-doubled part scores for the rest of the day.
I mean, this should be an exciting board. It looks like there's a Grand Slam and diamonds on a hook.
Yep.
So it's gonna
And
be
some other helpful.
if Adam, okay, the 4-no call is
Yeah.
good as opposed to double on this hand
And-
because Eddie would just have a normal pass of the double.
Yep.
In the other room, North made a double, and that got passed out for
800.
800.
Yeah.
So
Well, that could potentially be good because it's gonna be, I don't know. Well, Adam will do
is
here.
this gonna get bumped?
Yeah, he's not going to be able to do
No.
anything over 5 diamonds, right?
I mean, it's a difference if he had doubled and his partner was able to pull the double, then he would have probably a pretty happy raise to 6. But because his partner is forced to bid 5 diamonds here, his partner could just have a Yarborough. So unfortunately for Adam, he's unable to just give this the bump that it needs.
Yeah, it's a tough situation because from the south hand too, their partner could really have anything. Just a shapely
Yeah.
hand.
The south hand's pretty good, but I agree with Amber, like if partner's just trying to take a 200 in the face of their vulnerable game, it's probably not good to raise.
Yeah. So another example of preempts working.
Yeah, for
We've
sure.
been trying to keep track of when they work and when they don't work. So
That's the thing. Everybody has their opinion about preempts, and most people, they either just pay attention to when they work or just pay attention to when they don't work.
Depends on whether you're an optimist or a pessimist, probably, for that
Exactly.
exchange. But that's the one thing I don't know if you guys know. I used to live with all those the generation in front of you bridge players like Joe Grew and Johnny Hurd and Kevin Bathurst, all those guys. The common theme was just, put as much pressure as you can on your opponents as much as possible, right? And not egregiously, not in an out of the box sort of way, but if you have an opportunity to either add pressure or do something, less less aggressive, choose the aggression. It makes it harder for the opponents most of the time.
Yeah. I think it's also just like it's just uncomfortable on the other boards even. You're sitting there and you're tired as opposed to
Totally. Yeah.
yeah.
especially like I would guess that the Shari team will start swinging at some point if it stays like this.
Exactly.
So
And I think we have a table we want to watch for that one. It's when Cran and Vince get back in. I think that's the table to watch for some
Oh
sort of
yeah,
swing action.
that's gonna be fireworks. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's really it looks massive at this point, and really it is. It's 100. It's 100 imps, but there's 50 boards left, right? So a big set for Shuri at some point, a couple of big sets maybe. They need to start at some point soon, and now we have ourselves a ball game. But right now, not much happening in this match other than an interesting new hand that just popped up here. Look at this one. Diamonds was obviously a very fast contract.
Something for the viewers. Just if you're in this situation and you're up by, well, now it's 95. Cran and Vince are probably one of the last pairs you would want to see.
Absolutely.
Just really, really good, and they know how to generate imps.
Yep.
So.
And they play a high variance game and are fearless, both of them actually. So
Yeah.
there's
difficult
been
to deal with.
multiple, I think, matches so far in the event where one team has picked up, I want to say 70. Yeah, around 70 imps in 15 boards, including Olivia. So it's definitely possible.
I saw that was you were on the McNay team, right, Olivia?
Yeah.
You was 86-6 or something like that. That first set, 86-7,
They
something.
just needed to end the match. It
That
was
was- you almost held on to. That was super exciting. That was another very exciting match from the
that was
first
a
round.
fun match.
Yeah, it was against Nickel too, right?
It was against Wolfson.
Wolfson. Okay, whatever. It was against a great team.
Yeah.
So Diamond, a spade, 4 hearts. Can't blame Shan for that one.
No.
Pass. Let's take a piece. The other table, I can tell you right now, is playing this board now, and they are playing it in 4 hearts. When a diamond, a spade, 4 hearts, all pass. So this is definitely a different result that we're going to have here. 4 hearts
Also,
played in the east.
Could go down.
But now we're in 4 spades, which
Yep. It's going to go diamond, rough, ace of hearts, and an ace of spades. That looks like down one also.
So it looks like this should be not 100%, but should be a pickup for the Kaplan or for the Shuri team. Sorry.
yes,
Other
this small one.
Yeah, it's the brutal stiff rough with the stiff. It's always sad to go down on those.
It looks like 4 hearts made at the other table. So, yeah, that's Kolesnik and Kaplan.
Yeah, they
going
had to
plus 420.
find the club
Yeah.
rough immediately.
Easy.
So that's another. This will be another pickup for Kaplan instead on this, I believe, right?
You can't when you get in with the Queen of Hearts, it doesn't work then. Or...
You have to find it still, I think.
And if you're on the YouTube area, folks, I've had trouble logging into the USPF Twitch, so apologies for that. But we are on YouTube right now, and we will be live here for this set, and then we'll be live for the rest of the day, and we should be on the USPF Twitch channel at some point. I just need someone to send me those login details. If you see Jan, let her know over there.
Did you text Dan? I'm happy to text.
I texted Chris Wygand, who is also the one that usually has that stuff, but
I can give Jan a text too. She might be able to find her.
amazing.
The directors are always, since every single 2 players is in a room, they have to cover a lot of ground.
Yep.
Just down.
All right, looks like this is going to be...
Oh yeah. If they had a promotion, if South had the 9 of hearts, we're just thinking about how East plays 4 hearts. And if they don't find, they had to find the
And let me show you this. This will be a little clearer because we can see the hands as they originally existed. There you go. That might be a little easier.
Yes. So it looks like to set it, they had to find the club rough. And if Eddie had just had the 9 of hearts, they could have gotten a promotion later on. looks like.
as it turned out on the play. But yeah, double dummy, you just have to club, rough with the king, which is not so findable.
Yeah, that's a tough sell. And then you get the Queen of Hearts as well on the backside of that.
Yeah, tough beat.
And that's what they did not find at the other table, unfortunately. And now we see kind of a phantom sacrifice here, I suppose, as a result, even though they're getting a little unlucky with the way this is playing out for them as well, right? It's interesting. Shuri needs a lot, and Kaplan keeps ringing up imps. Have you played with these players? Experience with, I'm guessing maybe Finn is a partner of either one of you, maybe in their junior event at all, or no? Or Adam Kaplan?
I've played, I think, once with Finn and once with Adam. I've been friends with probably Finn for longer than Adam, but Adam still for some years. Adam actually lived down the street from me when he went to Stanford.
That's amazing. Nice to have a great bridge player in the neighborhood.
Yeah, but I didn't really know him then. I wasn't much of a bridge player, but
When Olivia was like 12.
yeah, my dad played more than I did, but sometimes we would
Yeah,
play
your dad
game
Max
on
probably knew him a little bit. And I've played with Adam Grossack a couple times actually. He's obviously an amazing player, part of the dynasties of Grossack and Kolesnik that are now they're now merging to form a more perfect union. Bridge dominance.
But both just great guys. I've talked a lot about the hands with them after they play, and I actually had lunch with Finn and Adam Grossack, two different Adams, yesterday.
That's why I love the U.S. team trials for that reason. For those of you who don't know, as Amber was talking about earlier, it's just this big hotel that's just bridge players basically, and they have this room set off where we're all eating lunch together basically. So people talking about hands, getting to know people you might not see that often. And then Amber talked about this before you got here too, Olivia, as we're waiting for the action to heat up here. Do you like the tablet rooms? A lot of people have, surprisingly for me since it started, love the idea and the kind of low pressure social behavior in those situations. You get to kind of chill out with a player you might not see that often.
Yeah, I think it's great. In one of our matches, I was in our last match, I was screen mates with Kit, and
nice.
while we were both like, defending a hand while the other one was dummy, we're like kind of talking through it a bit. I mean, not in terms of a conversation, but we're just keeping dummy in the loop for what's happening.
Sure. In fact, I think Amber said something similar to that as well. When you're dummy, you can get into some fun stuff, and
yeah, exactly.
And it's super secure.
It solves a lot of problems. Weirdly, there are a few issues that come up just because it's technology, and I don't know.
Not perfect.
Yeah,
It's
I totally get it.
But I really like it. It's a very secure event. Make sure the game is played in the right way, and just I think it's a very fun and very social way to play.
Nice.
A lot of people would think it's the opposite because you're sitting there on screen.
Yeah, kind of like sectioned off from everybody. But Shan's. Do you think Shan is thinking about anything here? What could he be thinking about other than this could just be maybe a little software glitch or a break or something? I don't know. Shan is on lead. He's just roughed the Queen of Diamonds.
I think he's probably thinking about shifting to a club.
It could be the only thing he's thinking of, right?
Yeah, like playing the Ace of Hearts or shifting to a club. Shifting to a club could be a disaster if Declare has the Jack and not the Ace.
And now they get to pitch a heart from dummy.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't feel like he needs to on most.
It won't matter on this one, as we can see, right?
Yeah, it won't matter because
but he's taking his
West
time.
still has the Ace of Spades, so they can get the heart later. Yeah. And his clubs are, his clubs are blocked, right? If he had the 10 of clubs in dummy, then potentially if he shifts to a club and not the 9, maybe the 2.
I see maybe no, but the spades are blocked anyway. I think maybe the issue that he's worried about now is if uh Declare has like no, I don't see it.
So there's a question in the chat. Thanks a lot. I don't usually dress up for my YouTube sessions, but I came right from a country club job today, so apologies, or you're welcome for the suit, whichever way you feel. It does look frozen, but I don't think. No, there it is. It is not frozen, folks. It was just a long tank that produced the Ace of Hearts.
Okay, I think what he was worried about is Declare has something like Ace King Queen of Spades or whatever, and partner has like King Doubleton of Hearts, and he plays Ace of Hearts and a heart, and now declares Queen of Hearts becomes good, and they get to pitch a club.
There it is. I gotcha. And
I don't know
I
if they
forgot.
think-
I'm
I don't know if
sorry.
they meant
South is
Adam.
the dummy too. For some reason, I thought North was the
Yeah.
dummy. So
But I think that's what he was worried about. He's a very deliberate player, so
yeah, I've heard Shan is the more deliberate player of this table, right? He would be the person that would take the most time.
I would guess. But he's also just an exceptional player, so
Agreed as well. Long-time partnership. Shan, Kevin, been on the same team for quite a while. I think they were on the Millens team that was in the mixed world championships, right? And Amber is a mixed world champion, I believe. And Olivia is a future world champion. So we're just
I should keep my mouth shut and just let Amber.
the only person that won't be a world champion here will be this guy, except for the NPC role, which I happily accept.
Never know.
This is good. Good point. You're on the optimistic side of things, Amber. All right, so Kevin's going to open something. Looks like they play a mini no trump here. So that is, let's see what it is. It's 13 plus to 16. So that's exactly what he's looking at there is a 13-point hand. Adam has both majors, but definitely more hearts than spades. So you expect some sort of bid here. Would you show just hearts here usually, or do you ever want to show both majors
Usually
here?
I would, yeah, unless there's a lot of discrepancy between the suit qualities.
Like ace king 10-9 fourth of spades and ace empty six the hearts, maybe you give it a little, or maybe king empty six the hearts and a nice spade suit. I don't know.
Yeah, a hand where it's going to be really important to be able to rough out the hearts if you're playing in spades, like where you have a lot of slow heart losers coming.
Yeah, gotcha.
Ace king, you're probably like, whatever.
Yeah.
I think the normal thing is to show just do your six
card suit, exactly.
Because if partner has 3 spades and 2 hearts, now partner's showing support for spades, so
and you hate that, yeah. And now we have a 2 diamond bid, which is just hearts for them. Not surprising, as we talked about that. Shan is unlikely to do anything. There we go. 2 hearts, which is forced probably by South.
Now he probably gives it a 2 spade.
Which would be like forward going and natural-ish here, do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he'll do, but if he bids
Yeah, it
2
seems
spades,
tough for them to find 4 hearts though. The other table were in 4 hearts making, which seems like a big result.
Yeah, in fact, let me give you the action on that, Amber. That is a big result.
They're off like 4 tricks, but
bridge is hard.
Tell me about it. All right, so that was.
Yeah, I see. So in the other table, well, they don't play mini no trump, so they play 2 plus.
So when a club.
Wow. I wonder if this was an example of swinging, or maybe they were not on the same page. But the other table's auction, they opened a club 2 plus. Gavin called 1 heart.
Yep.
Finn made a double, super normal, and then South, assuming they're playing transfers over a club, bid 1 no trump.
Showing clubs, yep.
Showing clubs. Actually, I would usually want to have a better club suit, but you do have 2 heart support to be doing that.
Wow.
Adam bid 2 spades, and Gavin just jumped to 4 hearts.
That was a big bid, yeah.
Yeah, big bid. So I could see that as maybe he was swinging a bit vulnerable.
It's going to prove successful on this board, and that's exactly what they need. They've stretched it to 104, and they're going to claw some back. And will this be the mark of a comeback? I don't know. They need a lot.
But
And
this is
then-
a rare bad board for the Kaplan team.
Yeah.
Just everything they touch is gold.
Yes, yeah,
So at the end
exactly.
of the table, it's still not easy to just bid 4 hearts because you're off 2 diamonds, a club, and a heart trick. But the play, they led the Queen of Spades, and then South just played a club from dummy and won their stiff queen, and then I think that was over.
Mm. And that is a big. I mean, you got to start feeling a little bit like, what am I supposed to do to get back in this thing as the Shuri team? And, maybe you piece a couple of these together in these last 3 or 4 boards, ladies. And now we're talking about, okay, we're at least kind of trending towards this. And we have our crazy variance pair coming in for the next few rounds. So
Yeah.
I can't say crazy variance pair. They're amazing.
I think one of the things I feel like I notice sometimes in these matches is when the team that's ahead feels like they're kind of on their heels a bit. That usually isn't good for them mentally. So it's probably important if the Shuri team wants to win, it's probably important to give them a scare in one of these kind of earlier ones to make them feel like, oh shoot,
It's not over yet, and
Yeah.
you still have to be really good. Which, I mean, I don't know. I'm amazed at everybody that plays in the events, but especially the younger teams and the younger players are really putting a stamp on the bridge world at this point on the U.S. side of things, and it's kind of exciting because we already have some really good teams, and now we have young chargers coming on and proving their mettle really frequently here. So it's just really great for bridge, I think.
Well, there's Zach, who's on the younger side, Kevin Rosenberg.
Actually, Zach's the old guard comparatively,
Amber
right?
knows.
Amber
Yeah.
might know Kevin. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Finn, who's
Finn.
obviously
Yeah, he won the Soloway, I believe, or the Vanderbilt, one of the massive tournaments already.
yeah, just a really exceptional player. Harrison Luba.
Oh, that's
Who's on my
right.
team.
Yeah. Terrible at
Just-
fantasy football, but a very good bridge player. I'm just kidding. Harrison's.
Just a really, really
Very good at
fantastic
poker
player.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually knew that about him. He's had some really nice results actually in some of those bigger tournaments, and I could talk poker for hours. You play poker at all? Either of you?
I was trying to. I was thinking I could just like try to hustle people, and then I realized that I would get hustled.
You were the sucker. Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
you wouldn't
He's
be
also
you wouldn't be
That's
for long.
what I should be saying.
Yeah.
Should be saying.
What were you saying, Rome?
I say you wouldn't be for long, and it's interesting the amount of bleed over. It's not a lot, but there's definitely helpful things that playing a lot of poker helps you in bridge and vice versa. I think.
Yeah, I think one of the helpful things is like poker, as part of the strategy is you just take some losses on some boards. And I think for a lot of players it's hard to stomach in bridge, just having a bad board when it's like, yeah, you just got kind of screwed, it's okay.
It is that's the best skill ever is just getting that, I didn't do anything wrong, but I still was bad, or the opposite of
Yeah.
that. I did everything wrong and I was good for some reason. So,
Yeah.
and
No,
that's,
I mean I tried to, but I'm too addicted to bridge, so
that's you,
that was the
you make more money that way, or you lose less.
that's true. You lose less, probably, for most people.
Well, bridge is a great game. You can play bridge for money, folks, but the problem with this game for money is you can't fold. You can never fold your hand, and you really can't really help when the opponents are getting dealt good cards.
Your
Here, when
opponent's
you
all 40 high card points, you just, yep, here's $200. Like,
exactly, thanks a lot. Here's your donation, and there is a big win. 10 imps for Shuri. We're back within
I was
100 now.
laughing because I was surprised Eddie didn't claim earlier. Maybe he wasn't 100% sure his diamond was on.
It's getting late in the
A
tournament.
couple tricks ago.
Well, and,
sometimes it's faster to just click the card, so I found.
but I can say this as an older gentleman. If anyone is getting tired at this point in the event, it's Eddie. It's just because we just
for
don't
sure.
have as much in the tank as some of these younger players. And not that Eddie doesn't have anything. Eddie has a lot left in the tank, but it's just this is a lot of boards to play and not have a single break. right?
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
I think
insane.
he's around 74,
Yeah,
something like
jeez.
that.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the Bridge magazines when I was a kid. Like when I was like 10, Eddie Wold was killing it. So I don't want to tell you how many years ago that was, but it was a long time ago, folks.
And he's never left the Bridge magazines. He's a
No.
killer.
All right, Queen of Clubs lead against Two Hearts, and this was a result from the other table as well. The other table is one board ahead. They're currently playing board 14, and as we said, the closer action is probably to be had in the USA 2 bracket. Nickel up 10 on Fleischer. Really cool match there. And Goodman up only 18 on Rosenthal. Another very good match. Wolfson having a pretty reasonably easy time against Bailey at this point, but still within reach. But we're
Better than
determining
the
which
USA 1
team
match.
goes. What's that? Yep. We're going to stick here, and we're going to let's just see who the first team to represent the U.S. will be this year.
This is just such an insane tournament. Like the amount of good teams, great players. It just there's no other tournament like this tournament in my opinion.
Isn't it a kind of a bad beat for Fleischer and Nickel to have to face off in the quarterfinals of the USA 2? That's
I mean, these are teams that a lot of people thought were gonna play in the USA 1 final against each other. So
Yep. And to be fair, Fleischer in the last trials played like Kaplan did. That they were the Kaplan team, but they didn't have a close match, right? They kind of steamrolled everybody, and then I think they were up big on Nickel. Nickel came back, but they needed a lot. So Kaplan has kind of played that role this time, and we'll see if it continues all the way to the end. But yeah, Fleischer, Nickel, two of the legendary teams basically facing off right now in the quarterfinals at USA 2. My goodness. Whoever loses this will drop into that. And then,
Yeah, there's still, I think one good thing to note about the tournament is that the loser of this match actually drops into the semifinals of the USA 2 bracket, not the
Yep.
finals. So it's going to be a lot more bridge for them to win the second spot.
yeah, and it at this point, you really want to win USA 1 because you play the minimum amount of boards. Basically, if you have to go back in and play two more sets, it's more chances for everybody and more bridge.
absolutely. But this looks like a board which you want to see if you're the captain team.
Yes, yeah, it'll take
You know.
they'll take 47 more of these boards.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that at all? And Amber, you were kind of in the super high pressure spot in the World Championships. When you're ahead, especially, are you just waiting to get it over with? You're not changing your play, but you're just like, oh my God, please, how many more boards? When is this over? When can I just stop the madness?
Well, I think at the World Championships, we were never actually ahead by very much. So I think a lot of our matches were, yeah, nothing like this.
Understood. Okay, but is the pressure more? Do you feel more? I don't know what the word is. More focused, maybe because you're just locked in, or is it just do you have times to think about like where you are and what could happen? And if I didn't make any sense there, I apologize.
Do you mean the pressure more when you are winning or not winning? Or
when you're playing a big event,
Close.
essentially.
When you're playing a big
when
event.
you're playing a massive event versus like a normal regional event, are you kind of,
Oh yeah, I think for sure. I definitely feel a lot more, I think, yeah, pressure or just in the zone more when it's a big event than, in a local sectional, something like that. But I try not to. I try to treat all of my local games as
the
big
same
events,
way? Yeah,
so I can actually get good practice from them.
yeah.
But sometimes I fail to do that for sure. What do you think?
I mean, for me, I think it's just like it's definitely a privilege to get to play big events, but it's sometimes, yeah, it can feel pretty nerve-wracking.
I find for me, and I haven't played as many of these as most of the other players, but and there's another 1 imp difference here, it looks like, for Shuri. And the right direction there. I find that I only start getting, nerved up and worried when I start playing poorly. If I make a couple of bad mistakes, and especially if you're on view graph, my mind starts going, oh my God, I'm embarrassing myself here. What's going on? But luckily, it hasn't happened too often.
Well, that's
Yeah,
the hole to fall into.
the downside of Love Bridge is that everyone knows you actually did this.
Yeah,
But on
there's
people
no
might
view graph
be like,
operator error.
oh, maybe there was a misclick over here by the view graph operator. No one will ever really know.
I really
wonder.
like playing from behind though.
Because it's I don't mind that either, because it seems like you can't really, nothing's terrible here. 3 diamonds looks like mixed, maybe limit raise. That makes more sense now. I was wondering if he was going to splinter here, but he's not quite good enough for that with the stiff queen of hearts.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people might have made a mini splinter if they had that available. So essentially, a common convention is to play like 3 note unspecified, like 9 to 11 splinter, so really minimum game force. But they might not have that available.
In fact, Wolpert chose there's just a game forcing 2-no bid with his hand, and then
this hand is potentially too good for that. Yeah, but 3 diamonds can be game forcing. They could. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, he was planning on bidding game at some point here. Yeah, that's the beauty of having an artificial raise here, because he knows partner's not passing, so he has another bid.
Yeah.
Very cool. He didn't need to worry about it. Eddie had this nice 5-5. You might look at that, folks, and say, "Oh man, that's kind of a minimum." Not here. not when you're 5-5, folks. It's just worth a lot more, especially when you know you have a 9-card spade fit. It's amazing.
Yeah, that 9 spade is huge when you have a crazy distributional hand like this.
Yeah. Good morning, Welsh Rabbit. 5 a.m. in the morning. He's watching bridge in New Zealand. Welcome to the program, sir.
Don't worry, sir. We'll put you right back to sleep.
Well, at least Olivia doesn't have to fight for her chair in this one here.
Well, Amber's too nice. Amber took the bad chair. I tried to switch.
We have chairs.
She won't let me.
That's why she's the ACBL member of the year.
Amber is definitely, Amber is the type of person that would give up her chair for any old idiot,
Well, I would give up my chair to either of you anytime. It's a pleasure to talk bridge with 2 of the best young players in the game. And I'm excited to see what you guys do in the rest of this. Are you playing any more of the trials, Olivia? Are you playing the mixed or the women's? Or
Amber and I we're going to be teammates in the women's.
Even better. Whoa, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
May
This
3rd.
is Saturday.
We're on Lynn Baker's team with the Rimstedts and Debbie Rosenberg, so that should be a lot of fun.
That's like the Rimsteds are 2 of my favorite people of all time. So
I mean, they're just such great people and just
and great players. So
I mean, I really love both of them as people, and as teammates, it's really nice to just come back with a terrible card and it just win 12, win 12, win 8.
I'm sure the card was not actually terrible.
I know.
Speaking of bridge royalty and family style, the Rimsteds, yes, are another clan of bridge royalty.
Yeah.
Every member of the young part of the family are world champions.
Yeah.
Who's the better Rimstead, Micah or Ola? Just say it now. Go ahead. No shame.
I don't know. I haven't really.
I have no idea.
I'm just kidding. I just want to. I want to hear one answer.
One answer. Well, one of them was on the cover of the Bridge Bulletin. I think it was Ola.
It was Micah, right? I think. Was it Ola or Micah?
This is embarrassing.
It was Micah. It was Micah. Or Micah. I never know which to say.
Let's see. We're looking it up.
But we have Kevin Dwyer Rimstead, who is the husband of Cecilia Rimstead, who is, I think a lot of people just were placing her as the best female player in the world, not in the not too distant past, basically, Cecilia. She had a lot of great results.
She's just a phenomenal player and a great person. So
plus
all
450. Right. Let's see the last chance to excel for this team. It is now, I mean, it's the closest it's been in a while, even though it's still 93 imps. We have some shape going on here. Get a spade and It's weird. Grosek not quite on the right side of vulnerability here, but do you bid 3 diamonds? No, you pass. Okay. And now, hello.
I'm a big passer. Okay, looks like
Okay,
there's
Rob,
Ola.
we did look it up. It was Ola.
It was Ola. Ah, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ola.
23 Player of the Year.
So, I mean, you see, neither one of them could be offended because we just went fully objective. No, I'm kidding.
It could have been either one of them, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
Probably not like some like 2-day pair event or something where like one of them did like five
one of them had,
platinum points better than the other one.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's probably a silver point or two in there from a club game.
I think player of the year they just count the platinums. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I think they just count the national events there.
Yes, just platinum.
Yep.
Cool. This last hand looks exciting.
It
So at the
does.
other room, they've already gotten to 6 spades by East-West. So they had a 2/1 auction, 1 spade, 2 hearts. And then they bid a waiting 2 spades. Oh, they might have not totally been on the same page.
I mean this might go down in the other
3
room.
spades.
If he runs the queen of spades, losing to the stiff king, and they get a diamond ruff.
In
Oh
fact,
my god.
here we go. There it is. That's
Yes.
what just
Oh
happened,
my
folks.
God.
It just happened.
Oh,
He took a
I
finesse to the
really-
king of
I really-
spades. It lost. There's the diamond ruff. So this could be massive for
I
Shuri.
feel for Adam Kaplan right now. That's just
Well,
gotta
we
be,
might see the same result repeated in the other
Agreed.
room.
Let's get back to that table. So now we just saw 6 spades down 1. An exciting last board. Shuri needs it. Let's be honest. They need some sort of good result here. They need to either stop in 4 spades or bid 6 spades and guess it
Or
right.
Trump.
There they go. They're going to play 6 spades again.
I really feel for Adam though. That's got to be really painful. A really, really unlucky layout of the cards.
Clear.
But
Yeah. But do you
Probably
think
slightly
Adam's like you guys, you've seen this enough, right? You're not, it's good
I'm
that
sure
it's,
he wasn't that surprised.
yeah, but it's good that it's the last board too. It might tilt you for a few moments, but you don't have to dial into another board right away also.
well, if we're just playing for the contracts, it's actually it's close because probably running the queen of spades is better if hearts are 5-0 on side. I'm not sure. I haven't like thought about it a ton, but if hearts are 4-1 and you play, oh sorry, if spades are 4-1, ignore me.
Yeah.
If they're 4-1, if it's like king fifth of spades on side, it's probably better to run the queen of spades. But on any 4-1 or 3-2 spade layout, you're just gonna claim by playing a spade to the ace and a spade.
Yeah, got it.
I mean, you do
Could
have
have
this
tried
blockade,
to-
so you might have some potential entry problems where you have to guess what to play back to your hand. But
He
Well,
could have tried to pitch the diamond on a heart. as
that's what I
well.
was saying. Why wouldn't he just do that initially just to safety it, just in case he's worried
then
about something?
6-1 hearts. I mean, the problem here is that diamonds, neither one of them bid, and diamonds are 7-1.
Yeah, true.
Looking at the cards, it's very safe. However, when you're declaring this situation, it definitely does not feel more safe to
to try to
pitch
cash.
Well, and also, yeah, you realize, oh my God, why do I need to pitch a diamond? I have the ace of diamonds in dummy.
Looks like the same thing's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
but if you go ace king of hearts and North has a singleton heart, which they might not lead against his
No,
plan.
he's thinking. Oh no.
And there it comes. Wow,
It's a
amazing.
very reasonable play. It's just such a layout. Even I know some people when I say this are gonna think this is ridiculous, but overtricks do matter when
Yes.
you're playing slam and you take a layout or you take a line that's not gonna work 1% of the time. It's probably worth it to go for that overtrick. 99.
And
like
we
half-
expect both pairs to kind of be okay with this decision. This is just a bad beat, as you would call it. Getting back to poker, this would be a bad beat. You would play this the same way and don't expect this to be bad for you.
But at
usually.
least in the team event, like there was a good chance your opponent was going to do the same thing, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's gotta be very painful for both players. Even though it's
they
a
can
very
find a
reasonable choice, these overtricks do add up.
yeah, they
but-
hate it. Well, especially the Shuri team because they know they could have just caught up. That would have been a massive win at the end of a set and put it in, not in shouting distance maybe. But let's look at this developing here, ladies. I think, in fact, maybe the next few segments we'll pay more attention. Fleischer down only 2 now to nickel. And Rosenthal up 1 over Goodman. So we have 2 matches in the USA 2 quarterfinals that are within 2 imps of each other. That's a lot of good stuff. What was that, Olivia?
This screen looks frozen.
This one might be frozen here. In fact, let's redo that. There we go. Now we have a realistic look. So we'll shelve this for now, and I will say thank you both so much for joining and putting forth. And I think, Amber, didn't you have to leave at some point early? I'm sorry to keep you.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I pushed it back.
You guys are amazing. I think we're going to see Olivia. Are we going to see you for the second one also?
Yeah, I'll be back.
Magic, we'll see you. And I think we have one more joining us then. Amber, thank you so much for joining. Look forward to seeing you again soon. If I don't see you before the women's, best of luck in that. And we'll see you guys all back here in just a little bit of time for the next segment and the rest of the day of bridge. Thanks so much for joining, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.